Look, most cars don't die because of old age and wear, honestly. They die because of wrong maintenance advice. There's a reason why some cars barely make it past 150,000 miles, while others just seem to run forever. Trust me, it is not luck. The manufacturers, well, they don't want your car to last forever. They only care about the warranty period, making the car look good on a spreadsheet for the first owner, and then selling you a new one in 3 years. If your car actually survives to 500,000 miles, that is a massive problem for their sales team. I'm Spectre, and I have been turning wrenches since before YouTube even existed. Today, I'm sharing 15 proven habits that separate the cars rotting in junkyards from the legends still cruising at 500,000 miles. These aren't just some basic suggestions from a brochure. These are the actual proven rules of the garage. Also, stick around until the end. As a bonus, I will show you a $10 trick that makes an old creaking suspension feel like new again. Let's start with habit 1. Short trips. Honestly, they'll kill a car faster than a track day, because engines are designed to run at operating temperature. When you make a bunch of short trips, the engine never fully warms up. That's how you get condensation in the oil, carbon on the intake valves, and an exhaust system that's literally rotting from the inside out. Also, the most damaging thing you can do to an engine is start it cold and immediately drive aggressively. And don't just let it idle to warm up. Instead, just idle for 30 seconds to get the oil moving. Then, drive gently. Keep the revs under 3,000 until the temperature gauge starts to move. By the way, stop-and-go traffic causes constant temperature cycling that's hard on gaskets and seals. If you mostly drive in the city, consider taking your car on longer highway trips occasionally to let everything heat cycle properly and burn off moisture and contaminants. Habit 2. The oil truth. Look, you've got to forget that 10,000-mile oil fantasy. It's marketing, plain and simple, designed to make the car look low maintenance while it's still under warranty. It isn't there to make the engine last. See, with those extended intervals, sludge and nasty deposits build up and just start grinding your engine from the inside out. That's exactly when timing chains, rod bearings, and cam phasers start falling apart. Ask any seasoned mechanic, and they'll tell you to change your oil every 5,000 miles or 8,000 kilometers. That is the real rule. It keeps the machine happy and actually saves you a fortune in the long run. But listen, it really depends on how you use the car. If your life is mostly city traffic, or if you drive more aggressively, don't wait. Change it even more often. While you're at it, get in the habit of checking your oil level every single week. Seriously. You see, modern engines use these low-tension piston rings. They're great for saving fuel, sure, but they allow the engine to burn oil silently. If you let that level drop too low, your engine is basically a ticking bomb. Once it goes, it is just an expensive pile of scrap metal. Now, you should check your manual for the oil type, but I'm telling you, ignore that 0W20 recommendation. It is only there so the manufacturer can hit their fuel economy targets. That thin stuff runs hotter, and it just does not protect the metal when things get stressful. Switch to a 5W30 full synthetic. And look, do not cheap out on the filter. Always go with an OEM oil filter. Spending $20 now on good oil and a real filter saves you $5,000 in repairs down the road. Now, oil isn't the only fluid they're lying about. Habit 3. The lifetime transmission fluid lie. Manufacturers say the fluid is lifetime, but that's a joke. It's only there to make the car look maintenance-free. In reality, friction dust and metal particles build up and wear out the transmission. To prevent that, change the fluid every 60,000 miles or 100,000 kilometers. And I don't recommend doing a high-pressure flush. That can shock the system and move dirt into places it should not be, doing more harm than good. Just drain the fluid, change the filter, and fill it with fresh fluid. This same regular fluid change rule applies to manual transmissions too. If you have a double-clutch automatic, the interval should be about 40,000 miles or 65,000 kilometers. And don't forget to change the differential gear oil at the same time. It is much cheaper than a new gearbox or a whiny rear end. Speaking of gearboxes, habit 4, the parking brake first. When you park on a hill, do not let the weight of the car rest on the transmission. Stop the car, put it in neutral, pull the handbrake, let the car settle on the brake, and then put it in park. This keeps the stress off the tiny metal pin in the transmission. It's a free habit that protects your gears. Now let's talk about the fuel system. Habit 5, the quarter tank rule. Your fuel pump stays cool by sitting in the fuel. When you run the tank down to empty, the pump is out in the air. It gets hot and starts sucking up all the junk at the bottom of the tank. A new pump is an expensive mistake. Try to keep your tank always more than a quarter full. Habit 6, the click rule. When the gas pump clicks off, stop. Do not try to squeeze in more fuel to round up the price. You will force liquid fuel into the charcoal canister, which is only for vapors. Fixing that can cost $900. Just stop when it clicks and go about your day. Habit 7, use PEA fuel system cleaners. Most fuel additives are just fancy kerosene. You need one that has polyetheramine, or PEA. It is the only chemistry that really dissolves carbon. Use a PEA cleaner every 5,000 miles, or 8,000 kilometers, to keep your injectors from clogging up. And once you've added that cleaner to the fuel, it's a good idea to perform Habit 8, the Italian tune-up. Driving slowly in the city is a slow poison. It builds up carbon on the intake valves and injectors, and also clogs the catalytic converter. Once a month, take your car on the highway, keep it in a lower gear, and run it at 4,000 RPM for about 10 to 20 minutes. The high heat and airflow burn those deposits away. It's a classic move that keeps the engine breathing clear. Also, don't be afraid to rev your car to the limiter once in a while. It will actually thank you for it. Now, these next two habits are often overlooked, but they matter. Habit 9. Don't wait on spark plugs to fail. A bad plug can cause a lot of issues, like misfires and even melting your catalytic converter. Your spark plugs are working harder than ever in modern engines. Direct injection, turbocharging, and lean fuel mixtures create conditions that wear out plugs faster than the old days. Those 100,000-mile plugs rarely make it past 60,000 in real-world driving, so change them every 50,000 miles or 80,000 kilometers. Stick with premium brands like NGK, Denso, or Bosch. Habit 10. Clean the air sensor. Your mass airflow sensor tells the engine how much air is coming in. If it is dirty, the car runs poorly and wastes fuel. Spray it with special MAF cleaner every time you change the air filter. It takes a few minutes, does not cost much, and keeps everything running smooth. Now, let's prevent some electrical gremlins. Habit 11. Keep your battery healthy. You should recharge your battery every couple of months, especially if you do mostly city driving. Buy a basic battery charger and just leave it charging overnight. Half the ghosts in a car's electrical system are often caused by low voltage. You should also check for corrosion on the ground cables. Take a wire brush to the negative battery terminal and the chassis grounds once a year. Use a little dielectric grease while you're at it. It keeps the sensors from lying to you. If your car is still acting up, try the 12th habit, the ECU reset. If your car is acting possessed with weird sensor codes or shifting odd, try a clean slate. Disconnect both battery cables. Touch the cable ends together for 30 seconds, but do not touch the battery itself. This drains the capacitors and resets the computers. It's a factory reset that costs nothing. If you don't want to mess with the cables, just buy a code reader. They are inexpensive and can clear those ghost codes in seconds. Now we move on to the most neglected fluids in a car. Habit 13, the coolant flush. Coolant wears out. When it gets old, it turns into acid and starts eating your engine from the inside out through electrolysis. Flush the system and change the coolant every 3 to 5 years. Refer to your manual for the right type of coolant. Modern engines are sensitive toward coolant type, so it is essential you use the right one. Habit 14, brake fluid and water. Brake fluid acts like a sponge. It pulls moisture right out of the air. That water rots your brake lines in the ABS pump, and it makes your brakes feel like a wet marshmallow. Buy a cheap moisture tester. If it's over 3%, flush the fluid. Do this every 2 to 3 years. Now we move on to probably the most important aspect of a car. Habit 15. Save the body. Listen, the body and the frame of the car are actually more important than the technical aspects. You can swap an engine, but once the metal is rotten, that's basically it. The car is done. Keeping your car clean and the paint protected is essential, but wash underneath your car as well. I know, it is a pain, but salt, road grime, and accumulated crud hold moisture against metal. Pay special attention to drainage holes. Door drains, sunroof drains, cowl drains, they all clog up with leaves and debris. When water cannot escape, it sits and rusts everything it touches. To actually prevent rust, buy a few cans of cavity spray wax for $15. Stick the long nozzle into the doors, the fenders, and the metal panels underneath. Spray while you pull it out. It seals the metal from salt and water for years. It's the most important thing you can do to protect the bones of the machine. Now, let's talk about the stuff that actually wears out. Some cheap parts are designed to fail, so more expensive parts don't. Replace wear items before they cause collateral damage. That means brake pads at 3 millimeters, not metal on metal. Timing belts at the service interval, not when they snap. Motor mounts. Well, when these fail, your engine moves around under the hood like a paint shaker. Replace them when they get sloppy. Suspension components don't just affect ride quality, they affect safety. Worn shock absorbers cause tires to bounce and skip. Inspect suspension components every 50,000 miles and replace parts when they show wear, not when they fail. But I promised you a trick for creaking suspension. If your rubber bushings are making noise, get a bottle of engine stop leak. This is the stuff that makes rubber seals inside an engine swell up and get soft again. Put it in a spray bottle. Take your wheel off and spray that fluid on every rubber bushing you can see in the suspension. The rubber soaks it up, gets soft again, and stops the squeaking. This actually drastically prolongs the life of rubber suspension parts. I recommend to do this at least once a year. Now, here is something that separates the real drivers from the appliance operators. Developing mechanical sympathy. This means listening to your car, feeling what it is telling you, and responding before problems become serious failures. Every car has its own voice, the sound it makes when everything is right, the way the steering feels when alignment's perfect, the brake pedal pressure when the system's healthy, the way the suspension handles bumps. Learn these things when your car is running well, so you know when something changes. Adjust your maintenance accordingly. The manual gives you averages, but your car lives in specific conditions. Before we wrap this up, I have put a list in the description of the exact scanners, fluids, and tools I use to keep my own machines on the road. It is the gear I trust. Using those links helps keep the lights on in this garage, but more importantly, it keeps you from wasting money, because at the end of the day, a cheap tool is the most expensive thing you will ever buy. The investment in proper maintenance pays dividends beyond just longevity. A well-maintained car is safer, more reliable, more fuel efficient, and more enjoyable to drive. It doesn't leave you stranded, doesn't require expensive emergency repairs, and retains more value over time. Most importantly, it respects the engineering and craftsmanship that went into building the machine. Because in a world that has forgotten how to maintain anything, your well-maintained high-mileage car becomes a statement, a rolling reminder that some things are built to last if you just take care of them. The spirit of driving isn't about the newest or fastest car. It's about the relationship between driver and machine. And that relationship, well, it deepens with every mile you put on together. Keep turning those wrenches, keep listening to your car,
and keep proving that mechanical sympathy beats corporate planned obsolescence every single time. We have plenty more truth to uncover, so consider subscribing. And I want to hear from the survivors. Drop a comment. Tell me about the car you refuse to let die. Until next time, this is Spectre reminding you to keep the spirit of driving alive. Thanks for watching.